Colorado's newest law around abortion access faces a challenge, and Democrats who support it are going to hold off enforcing it. The top executive for Xcel Energy Colorado testified against the bill that is supposed to reduce utility rates.
The bill as it's currently written does little to nothing to really impact customer bills.
Okay, so why is Xcel against the bill? Customers of Atmos, another energy company in Colorado, might see reduced gas bills regardless of what happens at the Capitol, against the wishes of the company. And we've shared your good news every Friday for the past 347 weeks, about 1,400 weeks shy of one woman's volunteer record, which we'll honor tonight on Next. A first-in-the-nation law signed by Democratic Governor Jared Polis is not going to be enforced, for now. This time last week, Polis signed a ban of so-called abortion reversals. These are procedures that claim to reverse the effects of an abortion pill. Hours after the law went into effect, a faith-based clinic won a temporary restraining order from a federal judge, allowing the clinic to continue providing the so-called abortion reversals. It involves giving women hormones to reverse the effect of an abortion pill, and that lacks support from major medical institutions. This week, the Colorado Medical Board and Board of Nursing voted to hold off on enforcing the law until both make a determination about the procedure's viability. Colorado prosecutors, including Democratic Attorney General Phil Weiser and metro area DAs from both political parties, have also agreed to temporarily hold off on enforcing the part of the law preventing advertising for abortion reversals. The federal judge over the case is considering whether or not to temporarily block the law from taking effect. And the AG's office argues that's not necessary since it is voluntarily not enforcing it. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court is preserving access to mifepristone, a pill commonly used in abortions, again, at least for now, blocking a lower court's ruling restricting access. Earlier this month, a district judge in Texas issued a ruling that would prevent the sale of mifepristone. Then, an appeals court halted part of that ruling while also severely limiting the pill's availability. Those restrictions were set to go into effect last week, but now are on hold. An appeals court will take up the case next month, which will likely end up back in front of the Supreme Court later this year. An energy company in Colorado wants to increase gas rates, but a decision by state regulators may actually reduce those gas rates instead. No, this is not an Xcel story. Atmos Energy has 120,000 gas customers. For comparison, Xcel has 1.5 million. Atmos serves the areas in yellow, which includes Greeley, Salida, Steamboat Springs, Canyon City, and Durango. In August, Atmos started the months-long process asking the Public Utilities Commission to increase gas rates $7.7 million. That would raise rates for residential customers 8 to 9%. Before the request made it to the PUC commissioners, an administrative law judge determined not only could Atmos not raise rates, the judge's decision actually would make them drop 0.5%.
Atmos explains in its exceptions that the result of the recommended decision is a reduction of about $1.16 million in base rate revenues.
Atmos wanted the PUC to make some changes and allow a slight increase, about 38 cents a month on a customer's bill. But based on the administrative law judge ruling, it looks like residential customer bills would go down, don't spend it all in one place now, no more than 50 cents a month. Now to a company with a footprint 10 times that of Atmos. Xcel earned $727 million in profit in Colorado alone last year. One reason there is an effort at the Capitol to pass legislation to reduce customer utility bills. The utility companies don't like the push for new regulations. Xcel Colorado President Robert Kenney told me why.
The bill as it's currently written does little to nothing to really impact customer bills.
After testifying against the bill that is supposed to reduce utility bills in the future, Xcel Energy Colorado President Robert Kenney took issue with what he thinks the bill is really trying to do.
A lot of the focus seems to be on ways to eliminate natural gas or to cabin those costs to the specific communities, and not really focused on ways to bring down bills.
Part of the bill would eliminate incentives for property owners to start up gas service, perhaps a push to renewable energy options.
If there's uncertainty or hostility injected into the regulatory and legislative environment, some of the extra things that we might end up doing, like our transportation electrification plan, we might decrease that. we might have to make different decisions.
A state law passed in 2019 set out to expand electric vehicle charging stations. If a utility company installs the charging station, it would get paid back by customers with interest, because that's where the utility makes money, when it builds infrastructure. Xcel also argued that this bill would undermine Colorado's clean energy efforts. But with so much clean energy guidelines in law, Democratic State Senator Faith Winter wanted to know what the true impact would be.
Many of the things you referenced, like our carbon reduction goals, clean heat plans, those are in law. And so can you explain to me what that trade-off exactly is and what you're talking about?
We have to borrow that capital to be able to make those investments, and if it costs us more to get that money, that gets passed on to customers. We have to make different decisions about how we will allocate capital.
That led me to ask if Xcel were to spend money elsewhere, would that mean less reliable and safe service for what remains?
We will never sacrifice safety and reliability. Let me just say that again. We will never sacrifice safety and reliability.
And he repeated it to me a third time. Utility companies make profits off putting steel in the ground. The gas costs are passed on dollar for dollar, and part of the legislation would create a cost sharing if gas prices are too high. Kenny hinted that Xcel is presenting a cost sharing plan already to the PUC next month. Going to the doctor can be scary. Now add in a doctor's visit and a language barrier of not speaking English. Our Angeline McCall spoke with a woman who says one hospital's extra service actually saved her life.
Not every hospital has been welcoming or helpful to Maria Lopez.
Antes de venir aquí, fui a 2 hospitales, que no voy a decir el nombre por respeto, y ellos me dijeron que no me podían dar servicio, que me fuera para mi país.
A reference sent her to Denver Health instead, and she found medical help in her own language.
Todos los pacientes tienen la misma oportunidad de tener sus traductores, de que desde que llega el traductor está contigo.
Translators know they aren't just there for words. Mari Pampukis knows it's so much more.
You're with them in the good times and the bad times and everything in between, because we go with them to everything that they need to get done. And when we're not there, we always ensure that someone is interpreting for them.
Translation services are offered in 200 languages.
We ensure that everybody that has a communication barrier never gets limited in the access to healthcare because of it. So it's very rewarding, I can tell you.
For those who speak another language, they know it causes a barrier.
Para el dolor, porque ¿a qué voy si no me van a entender?
Knowing the resources now, Maria knows what a difference it makes.
Es una barrera que hay el idioma, pero gracias a Dios, pues a mí me ha tocado la oportunidad que me ha tocado con traductores muy buenos.
All of the in-house translators speak Spanish, and those who speak other languages, they actually use a video monitor where translators can be available 24/7. The most commonly spoken languages right now for Denver Health for translation services are Spanish, Arabic, French, Russian, and Vietnamese.
I imagine that word starts to get around the communities, like this is the hospital you want to go to get better, feel better, and feel secure that you can communicate with somebody.
Yeah, that's actually what Maria said. She said that she felt so comfortable, and then what happens is you have this word of mouth. So she told her friends, and now her friends go there. And so it really is that sort of community. When one person feels comfortable, they kind of spread it around their own circle of friends and family members. And then what we see happen are other languages being represented in these different facilities.
Well, I hope more hospitals pick up different languages, and we can expand that to across the metro area. Thanks, Angeline. Sports, summer camps, music lessons. For so many of us, the extras are part of being a kid. But Colorado's foster kids and their families often lack the resources to fund the fun stuff. This week, we have an opportunity to help. Here's Kyle with an update.
Kids in Colorado's foster care system can feel isolated. Our Word of Thanks recipient this week, Cobbled Streets, a nonprofit that works with foster families, says sometimes they feel invisible. That's why Cobbled Streets provides free enrichment activities and experiences for foster families, a chance for kids to get into whether it's music or sports or horseback riding, going to Broncos games, just something fun and free for these families. And it's a chance for these kids to dream, for them to express themselves, to be able to enjoy the childhood that other kids might take for granted. It's an opportunity to see themselves as valued and loved members of a wider community. Text the word thanks to 303-871-1491 to join me and a bunch of other Coloradans in supporting Cobbled Streets. You can also do that by scanning the QR code on your screen. Since Wednesday, you've raised almost $10,000 to support their work. Thank you.
The closure of yet another Colorado institution is kind of a drag. Bandimere Speedway is getting ready to close up shop, at least for now. And our favorite Friday question inspires a tribute to the volunteers serving Denver's homeless.
The good news today, like every day, is our volunteers.
A farewell to one volunteer in particular as she heads for retirement. Next. Nostalgic areas closing is a drag. Today, the owners of Bandimere Speedway in Morrison announced plans to sell the property and shop for a new location. There will be a final season at the 65-year-old Speedway, ending with the Mile High Nationals in July. No word on if there are going to be any more COVID protests planned before closing. The Bandimere family says they're not packing it in for good. They've sold their property at the base of Hogback Mountain, but said today they're looking for a possible new location in the Denver area. The family statement points to growing development in that area as a potential reason behind the move. The track's been operating since 1958, that is, and became a popular spot on the national drag racing circuit. Today, it's Bandimere. 1 week ago, it was where I saw my first movie at Denver's 60-year-old Continental Theater. By the way, it was E.T. I was 2. Right next to the theater, Piccolo's, the Italian and Mexican restaurant, closes at the end of this month after 50 years. I want to know what beloved place is still around today, still open today, that you would miss if it were gone, even if you never go there anymore. I'll go first. Skate City. Haven't been in decades, would be super bummed if it was gone. Email next@9news.com or use the hashtag HeyNext and let us know what you'd miss. Tonight's next question comes from a viewer named Leslie, who wants to know if Denver-based Dominion Voting Systems will have to pay taxes on the $787 million settlement the company won from Fox News this week. That's a good question. Always following the money. We don't know yet how much of the $787 million settlement Dominion will actually get to keep. They got to pay for things like court costs and attorney fees. Can you imagine the attorney fees for that? We know those lawyers are not doing this for free, but they'll likely get to pocket most of the money. The IRS says defamation settlements are typically not taxable, especially if they're intended to make up for a loss in income. On the other hand, it's likely Fox could write off a portion of the settlement. Settlements paid out of pocket are often included under business expenses, unless the settlement includes a penalty paid to a government agency.
Well, change is making its way in. We're still dry right now in Denver, but very gloomy and very cold. We have a live look right now over downtown Denver. This thick, heavy, dark cloud cover gonna produce some snow later today. We're at 45 degrees, still dry, but very cloudy at DIA. It feels closer to 41 degrees out there with those winds coming in from the north-northeast at around 7 miles per hour. The good news about the snow pushing in tomorrow is those winds will at least calm down a bit. But we can see here on our HD Doppler radar, this system moving in from the northwest has already been dropping snow showers across the high country, where portions of the high country could see up to a foot of new snowfall by tomorrow. As you take a look here across the Front Range, northern areas starting to get a rain-snow mix, but Denver is likely not going to see anything until later tonight. Maybe around 10 o'clock, that snow starts to push its way into the metro area and lingers overnight into early tomorrow morning. Now, as we go through tomorrow afternoon, we'll start to see this die off a bit with heavier snow across the foothills and southern portions of the Palmer Divide here. A lot of Denver and eastern areas will start to dry out sooner, and then the entire system moves its way out late Saturday, so we actually get some sunny skies Sunday morning. But as far as that snow total, we could see a couple inches in Denver, those higher totals off to the west, and then areas just breaching the Front Range and eastern plains could get those smaller totals there, and we're going to continue to just wait for that to start to push in later tonight and into tomorrow. Off to the west, we already have winter weather advisories in effect until tomorrow. Some expire tomorrow morning, some expire tomorrow afternoon, but we're going to see about 5 to 12 inches of snowfall there. And then to the south, we have red flag warnings in effect until 8 o'clock, where we are still seeing that drier air and those gusty winds.
After decades of serving Denver's homeless, a dedicated volunteer heads for retirement.
I'm celebrating my 35 years of volunteering.
That's 35 years of good news to share. Next. For the past 347 Fridays, we've asked, what's your good news? And sometimes the answer is so special it requires our complete attention. Emmy Dolly Barrientos has put in decades of service with Volunteers of America. Now that she's retiring, the organization decided she deserved the spotlight, and we agree.
The good news of the day, like every day, is our volunteers. They're in the name for a reason. We have 15,000 volunteers statewide, and they get the hard work done.
Hi, my name is Emma, and my good news today is that I'm celebrating my 35 years volunteering at Volunteers of America.
And she was here at the crack of dawn, making coffee and serving breakfast.
I had a cousin, her name was Mary, and she was interested in trying to teach me how to do services like she did. And I've been here ever since.
She has also received the Presidential Leadership Award.
After 35 years plus, feeding and clothing and helping Denver's homeless. Hello, my name is Ray Barrientos. I am the son of Emma, Miss Emma. My good news of the day is celebrating my mom.
A lot of times I wouldn't ask them why they were out here. They just wanted to help, and I helped them as much as I could.
Within our family, we give back. We try to help out any way we can to anybody in need, and that all comes from this woman right here.
It's just a great feeling to know that, you know, she's out there helping other people.
I like the people I work with. They are some of the people that help, you know, a lot of people.
And it's just a great, great feeling to know that there's still people out there serving their community.
Miss Emma's son says she's not done yet. They hope to start a nonprofit food truck in her name so she can continue to feed those in need. I'm apparently giving away a lot of free advertising tonight, all the places that you would miss if they were closed. Next. It's a sign that can be intimidating unless you can't read. A viewer named Jocelyn snapped a photo of this "Beware of Dog" sign on a fence in Fort Collins. There's two things here. Either that's a funny looking dog, or a cat just does not give a care about the "Beware of Dog" sign. If you see a sign that makes you do a double take, email it to us next@9news.com or the hashtag #HeyNext. Those are the same places that you gave us your feedback on the places you would miss if they closed. We have 2 shout-outs in first place for Chubby's on 38th, tied with 2 from Dennis and Suzanne for Romano's in Littleton. Someone named off the Wizard's Chest, Meiningers, the Blue Bonnet. Laura wrote in Michelle's in Colorado Springs. I hate to tell you, Laura, Michelle's closed quite a while ago. And then we also have feedback on Skate City. Someone still takes field trips to Skate City. The smell, carpet, and music is in fact all the same. I don't know if I want the smell to still be the same. Maybe if it still, gives you that nostalgic smell, not the smell that still existed from 40 years ago. And Mike said Jose O'Shea's and Sims Landing, both in Lakewood. And then one off-the-wall feedback. Someone asked if I'm getting paid by a vendor to wear these clown eyeglasses. Well, these were given to me by a viewer, and no, I pay for my clown eyeglasses myself. Thanks.